Looks a little damp out there. Kind of drizzly day. I'm at my mom's house and just looking for some tools. I don't see the tools I want on the board, so maybe it's in here. This is kind of a grab bag of tools. What I'm looking for is a pair of water pump pliers. I don't think they're in here. I think they might be out in the garage. So I think we'll have to go up there and look, because I don't see them in here. I'm going to take a pair of these. I'm going to take a pair of these. Well, that'll get me started anyway. You might be wondering what I'm up to. Now I'll show you in just a minute. Out to the garage. It's something that takes a bit of getting used to, is working with the tools my dad had. Still don't know what we're doing. Well, I'll show you. Here's a bit of a hint for you. Isn't that a fun job? Fixing a toilet? Two. So, time to take care of some of that. Gotta shut off the main to the house here. That's in under the stairs here. Right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. First things first. Water out of the tank. So we did that by flushing. Float drops. The tank doesn't fill up again. Now I just have to get that last bit of water out. Okay, the easiest way to do this part is old-fashioned way, baling. So, spare you the boredom here. I'll finish doing this and then I'll turn you back on. Okay, now, the next step. Hey, down here. Yeah, I'm down here. Can't see anything from up there. Next step is going to be to unhook this hose right here. As for the valve and the valve in the other bathroom, they'll both need replacing, but I'm not going to do that today because I'm not doing that kind of plumbing today. I don't have the parts for it. Now, because there might be a little water in the line, put the bucket under there. And you can hear and perhaps see the water draining. Okay, now next thing to undo is the nut on the bottom of this valve. And with these pliers, I really don't know how well they're going to work there. They're not even fit to be a toy anymore. They're so worn out. But they were my dad's, and they've been around for probably since when he had his first car. His first car was a 26 Chev. So that's likely how long he's owned these. Since the 40s. Okay, so this nut, I don't know if you can see, this nut will spin right off. And that should be it from down here. I already took the float off because it made it easier to get the water out. I baled what I could and then soaked the rest up with a rag. Now this is loose and just lifts freely off. You can see that black thing there, that's the seal. And I'm going to put that over in the sink, out of the way. And then I'm going to grab the rag I was using to bail with. And just make sure things are clean, or at least where this is going to meet, where it's going to sit. Not just on the surface, but the edge as well. But you've got to be careful because it's porcelain. It could be sharp. Okay, I'll take a look at the flapper while I'm at it. It looks good. So maybe I might get away without having to do that one. There's the new float arm. The old one was brass, this one's plastic, but the float will still work. Here's the new valve. There's the seal there, right here, and here's the nut that holds it on, and here's the new fitting, which, because we're using a stainless steel flex line, we won't need that part because this part's already on the line. You might want to be using that washer. We'll have to check. So, very straightforward. Take that off. Okay, this will be ready to go in. Now, when the float lifts, there's a little valve here that pushes up against water pressure, and the water will flow, and it comes down this tube here to fill the tank. But a little bit of it also comes through this black one here, which is flexible, and you see. And this one connects to the little stanchion pipe that the flapper valve sticks to. And what that does is that little bit of water goes down that pipe and into the bowl, just to slowly fill the bowl while it's simultaneously filling the tank. So this is very simple to put on. Just got to squeeze the end together and pull it out. Okay, and then that's going to go on. This is to adjust the height of the float. Put that in place. Push this pin back in. Make sure it's free, which it is. You can see it's really quite low because it's adjusted for a low level. Okay, now I'm going to put that in place. Now you have to watch for two things here. With the alignment on this, you can see you got adjustment. You have to make sure it doesn't rub on here, but also if it's too far back, the float won't fit. And you'll have interference, so it might stick on you. But don't worry, the tank will never overflow because this goes to the bowl. And if the tank keeps filling, it'll only get to this level and then it'll just keep flowing down into the toilet. First thing is to snug this up. You don't want to over tighten it. You just want to make sure that rubber grommet at the bottom squeezes down a little bit. Now, it's dry. The old brass rod will just thread off of the float. Now you'll see the float is all the way on, has free motion, doesn't hit the tank back here. It's also not hitting this little standoff tube there. Now, this is that rubber tube I mentioned, and this one has a little spot for it that you can put it on, or you can just clip it on. Okay, back down to the floor. Hey, down here. Did I lose you again? I'll pay more attention. Okay. Now, that black washer I was talking about is in here. And this one doesn't feel too crushed. And it feels very pliable. Now I'll compare it with this one. It feels just as pliable, so I'm just going to reattach this one without changing it. Be a lot easier to do if my mom didn't keep the house so warm. She keeps it about 24.5 degrees in here, and people with MS don't do well with heat, and 22 is a magic number. I start feeling it at 23. The nerves don't conduct the signals properly, and you start walking worse, and your hands don't work as good. I'm going to shut this down and go and do another one. No use watching that. And I'll turn you back on when it's time to turn the water back on. I did turn the water back on. As you can see, water level is lower, which is likely fine. Higher float level, all you got to do is turn this screw counterclockwise, and it'll allow the float to travel up a bit higher. But I don't think we need to here. He thinks the battery's dead. See you later.